We are live. Hello, everyone. Garden stream, and we are now looking around the yard and exploring different things in here. All right. So let's see if we can find ourselves any critters out here. All right. So far, I don't see any of the banded puppies or the swamp ones right now. Hey, Night Shift. It's been a while since I've seen you. It's great to have you here. I hope everything's been going well for you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I have been doing. Yeah, what's up, fam? Yeah, fam. So recently, I had a big internet outage, and then I had to just do these phone lives. Then I got a new internet system and testing it out for the main computer lives, and it has been. It went pretty well today. It's been a while since I've done that. About a week or so. Oh, hello, Carlos. Oh, great to have you with us. Also, yeah, and my stream, we're talking about trials and different things like that, is going well. Oh, hello, Pikmin. Yes, they're trying to silence me. That's true. They don't want the truth being known, so they want to silence me. But I'm not going to be silenced. I'm going to keep on talking about what I talk about. So, in a way, spending time with family, and I got to do that, doing stuff with the pets. Hello, Joseph. Welcome to the stream, and we have the shout out to Aliens Angels facts. So yeah, I've recently we have been looking around and seeing the different critters come out. We've been talking on these live streams. We have been talking about lots of UFO information and cryptids and people's different encounters they had. And I've been doing these things a little bit later. Of course, when I had the phone completely transferred to the other phone, it'll be a little bit different, a little bit more. I could the live streams, the phone lives, be a little bit more not broken up into different pieces, which y'all may not understand what I mean by that. But only I kind of know what that means because I kind of do them in parts. I do them in parts. So when I had the phone completely transferred, it will be, you know, I could just keep on going because there's different devices. But anyway, the so that is something interesting. But I've been going live a little bit later at night because I seeing the sun come up in the morning while I'm doing the live stream is very fascinating. I usually stay out until the twilight part, and then when the sun comes up, the transformation is so cool to see the difference in the way it happens. Yeah, I have no idea what that means. I, Steven, by the way, it's a nice dog picture, and it could be aliens. I mean, there was some security camera footage of cats and there's a cat fighting a naked thing that was a gray alien. There has been another one that was a body. There is security camera footage of some naked thing that was a gray alien. So you never know, it could be. Oh, there's thousands of cryptids. There's thousands of them. And Carlos said, I had a power outage a few hours today, but I got back, jack power bank, and powered my whole house pretty much, even the fiber optic internet still work with equipment powered. Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. You're able to get everything back online. I have fiber. I just got fiber internet, and it that seems to work pretty well so far. And yeah, I think that it's so cool with the technology we have these days. Like you can power your entire house with you get like a solar charger, like a solar generator, and you could charge a whole entire house with it. So that is something genuinely pretty fascinating that you can do. And night shift, these are rows of different vegetables that I put down a couple of days ago. We'll see how they do. I just saw a picture of a gnome and a video of a leprechaun. Oh, nice, Joseph. Nice. So basically, with those things, yeah, I do. I'm not. I mean, someone can make up a character that doesn't exist, but I do think it is very possible that leprechauns and gnomes and stuff do or did exist at some point in time, especially leprechauns. Yeah, I think those could be real. What are some popular cryptids here in North America? Well, North America, I could name some of them. As I said, there's thousands of them, but popular cryptids, you see, it goes by culture, and by town. Sometimes people will call the same thing. Sometimes people will have the same thing. There's a tree rat right there, chat. And when you have a situation like that, of sometimes the cryptids overlap, but I'll explain. So, Bigfoot is the most famous cryptid in the United States, nationwide. That thing has been talked about for hundreds of years, and before we were here. Hello, Crow. And so that is something, Bigfoot. Another one is Mothman. Mothman is this flying crane thing that people think is a crane, but it may not really be a crane. It's like an angel looking thing. Yeah, it's a rat. It's a tree rat. Scared. Scared. Let's say the two deer walk out. Oh, okay, well, whatever. Anyway, so Steven says, I see treed small foot. Good job. Right. Scared. He's coming to say hi. Yeah. Anyway, so the Mothman, which looks like a demon, right? It's like this black giant uh, a thing with wings with red eyes, and it's menacing, and it has people think it could be a crane, but it exists everywhere. And anytime a catastrophe happens, there is a bridge that fell down. So anytime something happens, that Mothman was there. So people think the Mothman might be some sort of an omen of some kind. Yeah, that Mothman may be an omen, kind of like Grim Reaper, and the thing is very menacing. Also, so that is some fun facts about the cryptids. So you have Mothman. There's also something called the Jersey Devil. Yeah, maybe a harbor. Yeah. So yeah, you have those things too. You have the Jersey Devil, and there's something called the Slider that's over in allegedly in Colorado. Is this giant whale thing that slides down mountains because people that were in the mountains that were doing mining and lumberjacks allegedly saw this giant whale thing slide down the mountain, but it originally may be from landslides. That may be the origin of it. Okay, and talk about some more. So that is a thing with cryptids. You know, those are some of the most famous ones in the United States. There's also the chupacabra, the in the United States too. There is the chupacabra is this like it looks like a dog, but it has spikes on it, and it's a very freaky looking creature, and it drinks the blood of goats. And there's some swamp monsters. There's like some swamp things, and there's also a wolf that exists too, as well, that exists in the swamps. Carlos said, "My friends mining silver up north and Yukon border sent me a video of wolves in the distance that sounded just like the Yeti to me." The Minotaur. The Minotaur. Okay, is the Minotaur that like bull humanoid thing? It's like a human, but it has like a bull head. Yeah, that exists. It's some kind of a hybrid, in my opinion, of a fallen entity and a human and animals. It's some sort of combination of those things. So yeah. Oh, Carlos, it probably was a Yeti. Now the Yetis are more known. The Yeti is what they call it over in the other world, in Europe and Asia. But yeah, that's definitely what that is. It's the Yeti thing because similar to how we were talking the Nephilims last night, how they go into the mountains and these secluded areas. Oh, good morning, Sod Girl. Nice to have you with us. Good morning to you as well. So yeah, so see, Carlos, those types of entities you speak of, they live in these remote areas and these mountains, and they like to go and try to hide from civilization because they were either cast out or they want to get away from people. Thank you, Saw Girl. Okay. And yet, there's definitely Yetis here in NA. Oh, there's Yetis where y'all are? Okay. Okay. Yes, white Sasquatch. Right. So, y'all saying in the USA, there is also the Yeti. I got you. I understand. Okay. So the Yeti is some sort of variation of the Nephilim creatures or some humanoid that broke away from us. Like you could think of it like this. So there's a bunch of people that exist and humans, right? And then there's other types of humans that may have been kind of either prehistoric or kind of different and they made their own little society and they moved in like rural type regions of mountains or different places, completely isolated, more isolated than isolated people themselves. And and when you have something, if it's an Nephilim or whatever, when they're in the same genome and they're not given a different type of genome, you're going to have the same traits being passed down. And then they create through selective breeding, they create a new entity. But what that means is they preserve their traits. Whatever makes the Yeti a Yeti, its height, its fierceness, its monster-like features, because of them breeding with each other over and over again. Yeah, Jaren. Uh, That is very correct. I remember the night that I learned about the skunk ape. I was a clown was in a chat room was telling me about the skunk apes, but he was being serious. He wasn't even joking. He was like, having an intellectual conversation about it. And yeah, the skunk ape, is in the swamps, and it smells like rotten eggs, and it's like a little ape thing. Like there's these like two people, and they see this little like gorilla looking thing that's roaming around. Oh wahoo wahaha. Yeah, yeah. So the skunk ape likes to, go around and exist in the swamps. Now, people may ask, why does it smell bad? It may smell bad because the swamp smells bad, or it just the way it lives and it's in the conditions it's in, it smells like that. So it gave off a really bad stench that could be smelled for a long time in that region. So that is the skunk ape. It is a type of Bigfoot variation, and it seems like there's various species of those Bigfoot things. You got the Yetis, you got Bigfoot himself, and you got the skunk apes. There's some other type of humanoid out there. Oh, hello, Falcon. There's some other type of humanoid out there. It's in California too. Okay, thanks, Boggs. I thought it was only in the swamp regions. Okay, thank you. So in the mountains, there's allegedly a skunk ape. Okay, so I learned something new today that there's skunk ape sightings in Cali. Well, it seems like it's a nationwide thing. Then it's not just in the one spot. Okay, so the fact that that skunk ape smells bad means that it's just something about the skunk ape itself, not necessarily about the swamp it lives in. So there you go. Okay. Yeah. So as I said, I do believe in interdimensional beings. I do believe that a lot of these things are interdimensional, or some kind of supernatural creation. But I'm going to just say here that let's just say these entities, these beings that we're talking about, are some sort of humanoid or type of animal, that exists, that we haven't come into contact with for various reasons, including the reason of people not being around them, they're isolating themselves, or they're just very, very good at hiding, but sometimes they slip. There's these cases of these tiny little people, like these little foot tall people that exist, kind of like goblins and stuff. I've seen videos of them, and people could say they're AI generated or whatever, but just assuming that they're real, yeah, there's these kind of like these very small little hobbit, smaller than a hobbit type humanoids, and they're kind of strange looking. And I remember there was a South America one. It was like a little tiny thing, like a foot tall, and it had hair grown all the way down to its body, and it just kind of hops around. And so there are different types of humanoid things that exist that we just haven't really exactly discovered yet. Oh, thank you, Bog. I certainly will do that. It's good to know. I to this point I only thought that these creatures existed, you know, in bogs and bayous and things like that. But it's good to know that they're in other areas too. I mean, it's not. I mean, necessarily good to know. It's not necessarily good to know. I mean, it's just like kind of a neutral thing. All I'm saying is, it's like I'm glad I didn't know that. I thought like these things only existed in a swamp or something, but they're in mountains too. So yeah, there's other types of species out there that we haven't completely discovered yet. They were big. Oh, okay. Thank you, Falcon. I would think so. I would think so. Thanks. I definitely think that is a very likely scenario, that there are people that are just these little people that, on every continent. Right. Right. There you go. And The Native Americans have the most cryptid sightings. You are right, Pikmin. You are right. So we have the skunk ape was not small but large, and they're seen to be all over the United States. Oh, we have people on this channel um, that from different tribes that have talked to me on the show on this show that we have about these cryptids, and I think it is extremely intriguing, and I'm glad for their info that they provided because right from their civilizations, they told us about the Bigfoot and the different cryptids they have and the UFO sightings. So I can pretty much confirm from the natives in the United States that they they're seeing the most sightings of those things. I definitely agree, and I've heard they also call them the sky people. So yeah, they do see Wendigos. They see Wendigos too. I remember one. He wasn't a native, but he lives out west. He was telling me about how they'll sound like an owl or some sort of an animal, but it's not really what it sounds like. It's a trick. So that is something I think is very true, and I can confirm that from my experience about talking to people on the show about it. And I don't know exactly why that is. They were on this land much longer than we were, and I don't know if they're more secluded or they're just more in tune with the nature. However it works, yeah, they definitely seem to have a high amount of those sightings, and they take a keen interest in that. I mean, for thousands of years they were here. That's why I tell y'all over and over again, like a broken record, that the Bigfoot existed. The sightings of that thing existed well before this was the United States. So it wasn't like something some mountain man made up. It was goes back for a long time. And also another types of cryptids is the Wendigo, which is like an omen. The Wendigo is an omen of a witch that no, not the Wendigo is not the omen of the witch. The Wendigo is the Skinwalker is the witch. It's a witch that was able to transform into a creature thing. The Wendigo is like an omen of like the seven deadly sins in Christianity. It's like their version of that. And it just pops up with its antlers. So yeah. So say for instance, you have the skinwalkers, and those are the witches. Like say you have a tribe, and and chat was talking to me. Yeah, it is demonic. That is true, Denisha. Yes. And chat, I had the chat I was reading the chat and it wasn't moving, and I see why it wasn't. Okay. So, let's see. As a kid, and hello Denisha, welcome to the stream. I'm doing these. Oh, I do these every night, Denisha. There are these phone lives, and I go all the way up into the when it becomes daytime. As a kid, I thought there was a house, suppose, that ate peanut butter for a while because the Canadian commercials. Certain names you don't say. You don't say certain names, the curse ones. Okay. And Dogman is all over the U.S. as well. Oh, okay. So I'm not. What I'm doing is we're looking at the garden scenery. Oh, hello, Crystal, and welcome to the stream. So I am just doing a walkthrough of the different plants that I have, and we have people on the show, and these streams get like 1,000 views and plus a lot of times, and we just have people in the chat that come in here and we talk about paranormal things and aliens and cryptids and other types of topics too. So we just have a giant discussion about it with the chat. And I go do this every night. And I've been doing a little bit later than usual because I like to see like when the sun's about to come up. It's so cool to see the yard transform into daytime. Yeah, so and we're talking about, and there's people that have experiences with these things that we talk about. So that is something that we do on the show. Is quite interesting. All right. Oh, okay, Denisha. Okay. Yeah, but I just explaining about what I'm doing right now, and I am kind of looking to see if we could find any raccoons or possums or any kind of other creature that might be lurking out here. And I'm just kind of checking on things while we talk about this stuff. Yeah. So Wendigo is it has antlers and it's kind of like, I would say, demonic looking, and it's an omen of the seven deadly sins, what we would call in like Christianity. And people have seen sightings of it. The the skinwalker is a witch. Yes, Denisha, I've started planting things. And over this way, I'm going to show you now. I did a harvest in the winter, so the winter plants have already been harvested. So there's not you're just going to see just a soil. But going back this way, so these are some flowers that bloom over in oh, greetings UAP. Oh, okay, understood, Janisha. These are some these primroses. Yeah, yeah, they really are. They're very enchanting. All right. And this way, these just come back every single year, these elephant ear plants. And there's a little snail right there. All right. So, yeah, I harvested most everything from winter, but over that was the winter. Yeah, that's a spinach, but it's, flowering. And this is where I had some like Japanese radishes that were harvested. And these are two broccoli plants that are growing. And yeah, yeah. There's a time difference. Yeah, so sometimes I do this right here is cauliflower. I planted, and we'll see how it goes if it sprouts or not. This way, it's the tomatoes. Oh, right here is 3:53 a.m. where I am. Right here is that's okra in this part. So this is okra. It does well in the summer. These are tomatoes, and that's cauliflower to see how it goes. Yeah, I am an hour behind. Well, Batman, it'll be over somewhere in the back where the swamp puppies are, and not by them, but closer to their region, not where these flowers are. So they just go toward the woodland part, Batman. All right. So Denisha says, I saw eating something from your garden the other day. Okay. So yeah, I had something from the garden. It was a salad I made. I think the last thing I posted was a picture of some of the spinach, a spinach salad. That's what I did. Yeah, the spinach salad, it was very good. You know, the plant that you saw, that was it. Like during winter, it produced some spinach, and I ate it, and it was very good. Had that, and I harvested the daikon flower. I mean, the daikon plant. So the daikon's a giant radish. It's this big white radish, and I haven't posted that one yet. But that one is recently. I did it on a live stream. I harvested it, and it was pretty cool. It has lots of water in it. So yeah, spinach is one of my favorite ones. It's extremely good and tasty, and it's famous from Popeye the Sailor Man too. Yeah, and as the season goes on, and a lot of times I'll plant things like closer to winter, and then in spring I harvest them. And other times I plant things a little bit in different times. Yes, I do grow herbs, and I'm going to be planting some more in the as summer comes in. I think herbs are very good to have. I have some rosemary. That's very good. And I have a bunch of seeds for herbs and herbal teas and stuff. And a lot of times you put it on top of the soil. Oh, howdy, corn dog. Good to see you. So, yeah, that's what I like. The herbs are very cool to have and to put them as seasonings or put them in tea. Oh, yes, yes. I grow mint. Mint is very good. The thing with mint is that I would make it into tea. I would have, bushes, and I still have tea in the other yard. I mean, I have mint in the other yard. It's very tasty, and it has I like putting it in the tea, and it's extremely delicious. So mint is a good repellent of insects, by the way. It's good at repelling them from gardens and stuff like that. Also, marigold is too. Yeah, mint is a lot of health benefits, and it's good for other things besides personal health. With the way it's used for you know repellents or for health. It helps digestion and vitamin A and antioxidants. Oh, okay, that's pretty cool, Denisha. That's pretty cool. All right, I always grow mint, basil, thyme, and dill. We use those a lot here. Oh, that's awesome, corn dog. And calendula is a good repellent of insects too. Oh, by the way, I grow basil too. Basil's very good to put in the. I remember I've had it in Italian food before. It adds a nice touch. Yes, absolutely. And yeah, Denisha says they get together and admire it. Yeah, that is good that they get together. And shout out to you, Denisha. Very cool, uh, cool people. And yeah, that's what I think. That it's good when people get the garden together and have a cool experience with that because it's I think therapeutic. I think it's a good to be in nature and growing your own food, being self reliant is very important. Yes, basil. Yeah, basil lemonade is very good. Oh, okay, Denisha, thanks. All right. And Seven says, haven't taken a proper walk in the woods in years. Oh, I hate the city. Yeah, the city. And I'll tell you all about this. This place right here was designed to be like an estate in the country, but it's in the city at the same time. It was created over 100 years ago. That's why looks the way it looks. Oh, have a good day, Denisha. It was nice chatting with you. Take care. Yeah, you see over here, you know, I wish they would design all yards like this, but a lot of yards that y'all have in different places, and some people like have apartments where it's just like living in a box, living in a shoebox. But out here, back in the 1900s, they wanted to have a country style feel and an estate type feel to this place. And I said, these plants are good. This is good for, you know, having tomatoes, right? You could put a tomato and you can use this to grow tomato, like use a tomato stick. So yeah, and this, as I said, is a cousin of wildflowers. I mean, it's a cousin of sunflowers, and it is reused for something else. So yeah, but back in the 50s and 40s, they wanted to industrialize neighborhoods and make them very small and cramped together to make them be able to sustain people that are going to work and stuff. Like I mean, that have automobiles. This yard is built much older. That's why, as I said, it looks like a country woods. It's like a park, but it's in the city. I think that's an ingenious design. You know, you could basically have a little farm here, and it's quiet, and I'm just blasting everything in 4 in the morning, literally 4 in the morning. I'm just talking in the middle of nowhere like this. Yeah, the nuclear family American dream. Facts. And I'll tell you all this. As I said, I can't. I have to keep reiterating this because I just have to. Is this when you have a situation occur when you have broccoli that looks green, greener than green itself? I mean, that's just incredible. The grocery store is just like disgusting. There's stuff over there. If we all grew our own food and wouldn't have starving people in America, the government knows that. Yeah, and the government wants to maintain control and promote its agendas that it has. So that is something else that they want to do. They don't want people to be self-reliant. And the nuclear family American dream, they really deleted creativity and color in life. Yeah, I know. It's just the thing that happened was corn dog. They they wanted to demolish the way of life people had. And they didn't, because they if they could hinder creativity and color, they could be able to have a bunch of cogs in a machine that obey what they're told, and they don't want people to actually listen to what they're supposed to do. So that is the thing about, it's all designed for the destruction of society. That's basically what they're trying to do. Yeah. So, back in the 50s and 40s, it's just, people can have like, a dude can have a job somewhere doing the bare minimum, and he could have a house and a car and a family, just for the bare minimum. Now you have to, a lot of times, both partners will have to work, and it costs like $1 billion to buy a loaf of bread. And let's see, yeah, noise. And let's see this. Oh yeah, okay. It's 20. It's 20 feet long. It's 20 yards long. Yeah, that's how big the land is. Scared. It looks bigger, but yeah, it's a thin rectangular box that goes all the way back. And the soil here is very interesting because there's river. It's river soil from a long time ago. There was this different structures that existed here a long time ago, and they were demolished. So when I've unfortunately had to bury cats that passed away, I would come across these very old bricks, and they were part of the old structures, these monumental giant things that used to be here in the 1800s. And then they were abandoned and they got torn down. So, and there's also bottles underground too. Glass bottles where people used to bury their trash and their waste underground because they had no other way to do it, anything. So there's lots of history here, and the people, all the stuff buried in the soil helped the soil be so good to grow all these different things we have here. Oh yeah, the fur babies always have a special place in our hearts. That's true. Oh yeah, definitely, Seven. It'll do that. Now you could always get a new kitty at some point, and your kitty would not want you to be bitter, but remember the fond memories of them. Yeah, yeah, corn dog, exactly. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, definitely you would find some cool stuff there. The bottles and different stuff like that. I mean, I've seen it all over like the yard in different places I've dug. So it like got scattered everywhere. But yeah, there's a part in the back where I think is where the outhouse was, and I found a lot of different things like bottles, like full bottles, like people that drank beer and stuff. So yeah, that was quite a long time ago, and you are correct about the outhouse, definitely. And oh, hello, Churbro. Dog circle and poop line up north-south axis with the magnetic field is stable. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Hello, Churbro. There's also lots of clam shells and seashells that are here that were used as fillings. Okay, Churbro, you want to be a mod? I'll make you a mod. I like the green and the blue contrast, but I'll make you a mod. All right. Oh, okay, corn dog. Understood. Well, it's uh, it's nice having you with us when you can. All right. So here we go. There we go. All right, Churbro, you're blue now. Okay, and yeah, we have this here, and I you definitely like to grow fields of these things. They are very, as I said, very good. The stalks are good for using as tomato poles and other things. Yeah, and there's Phil. That's cool. Yeah, and let's see there. I might put some other things in this region. Hello, comedy. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about gardening and cryptids. All right. So, the cryptid, the skinwalker. So, a skinwalker story would be over this way. So, there was once a person that was hiking in the desert. Oh, Brig, a garden gang, a Yule cat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That one is cool. Yeah, that one is cool. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some cryptids, and so there is once a skinwalker. So there is person that was hiking over in, say, New Mexico, right? That's where it was, and they were hiking over in Mexico, not Mexico, but New Mexico, and It's a hot summer day, and they go through the mountains, and they have a good hike, and they see blue skies and ancient clouds, and they take pictures and explore the land. So nightfall happens, and all the stars cascade the sky, and it's just a beautiful sight to see in the frontier. Now, there is this incident where the hiker hears a some rustling, right? And he sees actually it is just some birds about to fly away from a bush because there is a wild cat that is walking around, and he understands he has to get out of that area. So he goes to a safer location, sort of southwest of the mountain trail, and 5 kilometers to further down to the east part. Now, he hears a couple of different things. What he hears is some kind of a clicking noise, and he then hears an owl, right? And it's kind of odd because he didn't know that there was owls in that region at the time, but he brushed it off. He then hears a couple of things, such as some voices out in the distance. Hey, Thomas. And Thomas, this is an ancient plant that was grown by natives that is related to sunflowers. But it looks nearly identical to weed, but it's not. And that is what I think was pretty cool about the plant, by the way. So anyway, in the story, he's hearing these noises, right? He starts to hear some talking, some people muttering, and he he hears barking too. So he doesn't really know what's going on, but eventually he settles down and sets up camp. Now he goes and he hears something like in 3 in the morning, but he realizes the entire time there is this big, elongated, skinny creature that had its head tilted 360 all the way back, staring at him when he gets out of his tent to see a silhouette of a thing there. And this thing is producing all the noises he's been hearing all night. So he says a prayer, and the thing kind of turns into a mist, and before turning into a jaguar, and then it vanishes. So what this sighting was, scared. What this sighting was, it was certainly a skinwalker, which he learns later that there was ancient legends in that part of the mountains he was in that the natives talked about, where there was a cursed witch that wanted to be with somebody. Yeah, and she wanted to be with a dude, and she sold himself over to this other witch in one of the tribes that wanted to that knew potions and stuff, and she had to sell her soul and get the man she wanted. But she was cursed for centuries to roam the earth like that. And that is what the hiker encountered. So his faith and his perseverance and his wisdom about going a couple of kilometers by the waterway, the dried out waterway, was how he was able to put himself in the best position possible to deal with what was about to happen without him realizing it. So there you go. That is a story of a skinwalker. All right. Let's see. The Yule cat is a Norway forest cat that's huge and tall as trees and eats children who don't get clothes for Christmas. Okay. Interesting way to get kids excited for Chris to receive clothes for Christmas. Yeah, hilarious. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to this one right here. Let's the All right, the Yule cat is a terrifying giant monster cat from Icelandic folklore that prowls the snowy countryside during Christmas. Threatens to eat anyone, especially children, who does not receive a new piece of clothing before Christmas Eve. Originally a tale of incentivized finishing wool production. Yeah, so that is. I want to see images of this Yule cat. Yeah, yeah. Let's. Yeah, I would like to know what these things look like now. King Arthur allegedly fought something like that. He fought giant cats in that legend. Yeah, it's like a long-haired cat, a long-haired snow cat. That's what it's like. Like it'll have like usually a dark color and it'll have long hair. Okay, sure, bro. Understood. No, not a Yule cat. It was like, oh, black giant panther like kitty that swims and was raised by a witch pig. Okay, I don't know. I never heard of that. Oh yeah. Oh, you read about it too? Yeah, because King Arthur. Where see, I'll explain about King Arthur. So my theories about King Arthur was that he was, in my opinion, real, and so was Merlin. But the history about it was either hidden or censored or lost, and they didn't want us having the information about him. So, oh, okay, understood. Seven. So that is what happened with King Arthur. So King Arthur was this legendary king that from Wales. I have some Welsh ancestry a little bit, by the way, a little bit. And the thing with Wales is that it used to be a mythological, magical kingdom with like forests, basically like what my place looks like, and it was a magical kingdom with all kinds of enchanting creatures and stuff, and all kinds of cryptids. So yeah, the big cat. Oh, he was real. My history teacher and I believe that, and the name was Kath Palug. Oh, very good, very good. Thank you for telling me. Yeah. So anyway, the right here we got some needles right here. So Briggs said Yule Cat would have definitely become his pet. Yeah. So this is the thing with King Arthur, because I remember one night with my friend Sarah, we were reading the entire history of King Arthur, like the whole thing, in one of my live streams. So yes, absolutely seven. That's a great idea. So with the Yule Cat, I mean not the Yule Cat, with King Arthur, he was taking over many parts of the world at that time of Europe. He was having a lot of Europe in his empire. So the Romans felt threatened by King Arthur. So they came up with this plan to go and take him out. So they came up with this plot by having his wife cheat on him with they had his wife cheat on him with Lancelot. I could eat neighbors, noisy kids. I wanted mine. Hilarious Turbo. So that is what happened. And then they burned down Camelot. They burned it to the ground, similar to the Library of Alexandria. How in the Library of Alexandria, they it completely was destroyed and didn't exist anymore. Same thing with Camelot. I think it was since it was burned down. Oh, thank you, Falcon. Definitely. Yeah, I definitely think with that would explain why they took him out. Now, with King Arthur, he uh there was Gorafy, right? And he was this historian. Hello, Mr. Frog. Welcome to the stream. So that is when they burned down Camelot, they they had this thing happened where the eventually land was just was leveled, and it became the no man's land. So Gorafy was the bishop that the the bishop was this dude that was recording the histories of King Arthur, right? That was Gorafy. But he got it from an older transcript. He got it from older records, and he was just recording what he heard about coming up. So the concept of King Arthur existed before Gorfy recorded it, even if they think it was fictional. But the dude was just recording information he had at the time. And Merlin, his father, interesting, he's like a cryptid. His father was a demon, and his mother was a nun. and he was born from an unholy union. But he used his, and he had magical abilities because he was half demon. He was like a Nephilim. But he used his powers for something positive, and he became a Christian, and he wanted to use his powers for the Christian cause. And he predicted, that it would fall, that the Wales and the different places would fall. So that is what happened to that one. They had the sword and the stone, which is very famous. And when you had the sword and the stone, he was the only one that was able to pull it out. And I like the different depictions of Merlin in his castle from the kind of older depictions of him. And he he definitely was into like astrology and like the study of the different constellations and their meanings, because that's something he had from the fallen entities that he was from. So yeah, and so they had vast forests, and in these vast forests existed the giant cats and these all kinds of other things that he battled. But yeah, he right. And let's see. Seven says, "I'm sure most of it was true. We as a society tend to forget the great many miracles of old and call it fiction today. After all, dinosaurs were in all of the medieval paintings. Some had wings." You are correct. And there is tombs and there's like coffins with dinosaurs on them. So I do believe that they existed with humans at one time, or maybe they are still around and we just haven't really seen much of them. So yeah, I yeah, shout out to Mr. Frog. Awesome. So that is what happened with the bird's eye. Okay, Frog, Mr. Frog, the mainstream narrative is that birds are descendants of dinosaurs, or they're at least cousins. Yeah, that is true, Falcon. Yeah, so there was definitely like people in history, like they were myths and then they became legends. They're, like of all of us here, if it isn't for this technology we have, we would be remembered as some sort of legend or myth. The myth and legend of alien spaceship and his crew. And they'll wonder if I existed, and they'll wonder if all of you existed 900 years from now. But with the technology we have, I'm sure our footprint will be preserved if it doesn't get like erased somehow. So yeah, that's why I say I do think those people existed, and there's miracles. Some of it's true, at least. Yeah. And dinosaurs got out on the ark, and working theory is that none are around today because humans hunted them down. Ah, okay. That's a very cool theory, and I didn't think of that. So there's theories I've heard about them being the fallen entities themselves, like, but maybe what you're saying is more accurate, where they were on the ark with Noah, but humans hunted them just like in America. You know, yeah, that's Faxburg. There was the bison, and the bison were hunted down. The buffalo, right? The buffalo bison. They were hunted down, and they were stacking their skulls to the sky. And that's why we don't see buffalo in this yard right now. I mean, because they used to be all over the United States, but they got eradicated. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And there is all kinds of animals that were poached and hunted down until they didn't exist anymore, unfortunately. So you're very right. Is that it's probably true that they hunted the dinosaurs down and they went extinct that way. Interesting. Mr. Frog, that is the mainstream narrative. Yes. But we are talking about a conspiracy theory because we talk about conspiracy theories here. So yes, the mainstream narrative is that a meteor of an asteroid hit the Earth and wiped the dinosaurs out. And I've heard stories that they were the fallen entities that God wanted to get rid of. But this other theory is that dinosaurs, there's depictions of dinosaurs in medieval art and on coffins and stuff. So there's depictions of alleged dinosaurs existing after this alleged meteor hit the Earth. This thing hit the Earth, and there are fossils of those dinosaurs from either the Great Flood or from whatever happened to them. But the point is that somehow some dinosaurs survived some kind of a way because there are depictions of dinosaurs later. So maybe some of them or a lot of them went on this according to the Abrahamic religions. Maybe they went on that ark or they survived some kind of a way. So, like for instance, dinosaurs and dragons might be a similar thing. So, as I said, we're talking about a conspiracy theory that may not be true. So, take it with a grain of salt. If people that are not familiar or into the conspiracy theory stuff. All right. So, oh, hello, Beetlejuice. Yeah, Beetle. I've heard of that too. And all right. And Seven says, after all, you want Jimmy the farmer, Jimmy that looked down and flipping dragon. Oh yeah, yeah. And Seven says the meteor is atheist theory and one which can't be proven. Yeah. Now I've heard that God caused the meteor to hit the earth, and that was when the Great Flood happened. That the Great Flood was that thing hitting the earth. That it's both connected. So the theories that I've heard was that the dinosaurs were an abomination that was created, and the Great Flood happened to wipe them out. But as I said, I do agree with you that there are depictions of dinosaurs being depicted after the flood happened or the meteor hit the earth happened. So that's something that I can't deny. So maybe some of them were on the ark. So, for those that believe in the theory about Noah's ark, maybe there's other people that don't believe in it, but people can believe in as they please. But that is, allegedly what we think about, which I believe is a fact about the ark. But yeah, dinosaurs, I think, are real or were real at one time because they existed. The way they look and all is too intricate. It's too reptile like. It looks like it's something that definitely could have been real at one time. All right, Seven says, those dinosaurs with the ball skull head. They're depicted with wings in medieval drawings and being hunted down like we do. The dragon is wandering planet of 70 pillars, fire that comes every 12,000 years and tilts the earth. Okay, XL, thank you for the info. And Mr. Frog says, wait, may I ask, what the F even is a dinosaur fluffy? Okay, so a dinosaur, apparently, according to the mainstream narrative of science, is that dinosaurs had feathers and they're like giant birds. So in a way, they were fluffy. Right, right. So that's what you probably have heard. They had it's like a giant chicken. That's probably what it was like. Yeah, you were right, Mr. Frog. Tell me, I don't know what a stego is exactly. Well, genome, I'm the alien. I'm the alien sighting for right now, but there are aliens around, but I'm the only alien sighting you're seeing at the moment. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that is the Stegosaurus, a big lizard with four plates on its back. Oh, thank you, XL. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Genome, thank you. Thanks for the heads up. Scared. Yeah, because you see, I was saying that the the dinosaurs were similar to giant chicken, and Sherbro said "yum chicken." That's the reason he said that. Yeah, so you have like ancient pterodactyl, giant chicken, which are from the chickens of the bird. Yes, one nice and juicy with lots of spices in it, with some nice seasoning and fried. Yeah, yeah. These are the floral plants, perfect for any frog. Skirt. Oh, nice. Moist chickens. Moist. I like that. All right, Seven says, okay, the medieval guys must have had a dinner to brag about for years to come. Guys, we ate a dragon. Really, what did it taste like? A bit like bit gamey. Yeah, they definitely had a story to tell. Yeah, definitely had a story to tell. And yeah, them hunting the dinosaurs, that had to be a really epic hunt. That had to be something out of this world, to do that. With the dinosaurs with their hard scales and whatever they had on them, that had to be crazy. So, yeah, I can see where they eventually took them out, and they're not around like they were at one time. Carlos says the great eared nightjar is like a baby dragon kind, and it's alive today. Oh, very cool. Very cool. I like that. Yeah, I mean, there are so many of these things, like the that I believe, as I said, I believe they existed at one time. These types of dragons and these other mythological creatures, and they either went extinct or they went into hiding. You're a professional dino. Yes. There you go. Mr. Frog the Dino. Briggs says maybe some of the dinosaurs evolved into lizard people. Yeah, I've heard about in some conspiracy theories that the lizard people and the dinosaurs are related some kind of a way, or one evolved from the other. Yeah, that is true. They could have either shapeshifted or evolved into those of today. Yes, I've heard of that one. Yes. Oh, okay. It's okay, Mr. Frog. Welcome to my world. I don't really sleep either. Oh, lizard people is your auntie. Your auntie. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Scared. Yeah, so the so many of the lizards, they they had been around for a long time, and they're definitely related to dinosaurs some kind of a way. They're definitely interconnected. So the raptors and the T-Rexes and those types of things, there's theories that they were part of fallen entities that were created, some hybrid thing that was created, and they had some of that DNA in them. So they evolved into lizard aliens now, which I've heard about, the lizard people, or they somehow are cousins or coexisted in some kind of way. But yeah, the sure, bro. In my opinion, I think the Komodo dragon is a dinosaur. In my opinion, yes, they do have a nasty bite. Yes. Wait, hold up. May I ask, what are you doing? Hiking? Yeah, I'm hiking. That's true. I am hiking through my garden. It's like my own private park. And I caused all these plants to grow here, by the way. Not tonight, Brig. It's been very quiet tonight. And I will do a little bit earlier garden lives like we did before, and late ones too, like this. We'll do both. It's a little bit kind of quiet around this time. Chat wise, it's more quiet. And also, with the other critters that are walking around here, it's more quiet around this time. But as I said, and I will do these other streams where I stream the whole time through like midnight to now. I just whenever I got the two phones completely transferred, it would be more easier to do that. But yeah, the no sightings tonight. But we what we did have, Brig, is we had a sighting of the the tree rats. We had a good tree rat sighting. Oh, you ingest grass. Okay, so you're like a cats like to do the same thing. Scared. Claude is sleeping in the other yard, I think. That's where he is. Yeah, so like, imagine through here, right? And like sometimes, yes, God bless America, Cash. Indeed. No, I've already told you. Oh, he's a dino. So Mr. Frog is a professional dinosaur. By the way, this is like Jurassic Park, right here. Right, this is Jurassic Park. Oh yeah, sure, bro. That's nice. Yeah, I understand. A lot of people want to come here. Right, and we have all this here, and it's basically Jurassic Park. With these like, look at these like, they look like dinosaur hands. These plants. Yeah. So far, no swamp banded puppies tonight, or the claw of the raccoons. So the Wendigo I was mentioning earlier, there was somebody that was mentioning that they had this thing where a situation occurred with the Wendigo, that one time somebody was hunting and they saw a Wendigo stand up on its hind legs. And it, as I said, it was like a giant antlered, a dead deer head with a emaciated giant body. Looks like the birds are waking up. It's always nice to have them wake up. And the crows, I mean the roosters crowing too. All right. Yeah, they're out in that tree right there. That's who they are. Yeah, there's these videos that people have taken of like a gray alien. And oh yeah, shout out to Bubbles and Claude. Yeah. There are these aliens that are the gray aliens one time are being operated on. You know, imagine a laboratory, an Area 51 somewhere, and what happens is you have an incident that happens where they they take its eye, like they go and take its eye, the the black film thing off the gray alien's eye, and it reveals an eye underneath, almost like it was like a machine. So that was quite eerie that the gray itself, its eyes and everything, was part of a machine of some sort. That the grays, are there's so much ambiguity about the grays. I mean, you don't know, like, there's so many different. I wonder if there are different types of entities that are taking the form of the gray aliens, and that is what we see. But multiple things are masquerading as gray aliens. It's like the gray aliens became a meme. Okay, and the there's series, as I said, that the grays are these biological worker drones, and that would explain why when they're operating on them, that the film on the eye was taken off. Now, we have that. Now, there's the Archimedes aircraft that lifted off, and it was able to. Some people, there's some of the people that were on the Archimedes 2. The Archimedes 2 were actors, possibly. So there's been some suspicion about the orbit of the moon that occurred. Some people do not think it's completely 100% what they think it is. Right. And those are the little flowers on this tree specifically. Scared. There is a witch that allegedly existed in Tennessee, and it was like this entity of some kind that did some pretty messed up stuff to a family, and it apparently there's this thing that would float and sing peaceful hymns, and it would pick berries. I mean, it would pick strawberries and stuff. But that's how those things are. It disguises itself as an angel of light. That is what it does. Yeah. So when that happens, it looked deceptive because it looked like it was something that was good, but it really wasn't. Yeah, New Zealand and Australia are very cool places, and I've had family that lived in Australia before, and have a lot of friends there. And or Nordic Island is a nice place to see. So the thing with Australia, in a it, there's lots of camels there because they were trying to explore the desert, and the camels had no natural predators, and they just kept on populating all over the place. And there's lots of camels there. So yeah, Australia is very cool. New Zealand is nice, and Tasmania, a very nice region. So New Zealand is, you know, they have these mountains and these caves and these different water systems that are just so beautiful looking. Yeah, it's truly enchanting. It's where like the Hobbit was filmed too. Okay, sure, bro. Thank you for your take on it. Since you live there, I trust your judgment on that. But certainly, it's beautiful in my opinion. And Briggs said, "Yeah, I want to see Norway too. The Northern Lights and fjords. Yeah, the the Northern Lights are really cool. They have them in some parts of the world, even in Canada too. There's actually what a hundreds of years old map of the poles with complete land maps, not ice detailed and snakes. Yeah, I know. Those people back then knew something that they either censored from us or we don't really practice now. Cherbro says, I live 1 hour away from where The Hobbit was filmed. That is so cool. That was an excellent movie. Wow. Yeah, so the way with these fjords and things, there's Nordic giants, right? Just like they had in the mythologies of the past, right? So there's these giants and Thor. Hello, Tane. Welcome to the stream. Uh, there was these giants that existed, and they were wiped out by Thor, and it reminds me of how God and the Abrahamic religions wiped out the giants. So yeah, there's ice giants that existed, and see the same concept of giants and Nephilim and stuff. Hello, Christine. Welcome to the stream. Okay. And there was an ice in one of the poles less than 1,000 years ago, in the polar melting natural, not globe warming bad way. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So another cool thing about Thor is that he had a chariot of goats that flew in the sky, and he had a hammer. And I think it's so fascinating, you know, the way they depicted that, because that's why I say with the UFOs that exist, allegedly exist, which I believe is a factually existing. These UFOs are similar to the concept of Thor and his flying chariot. They all talk about these flying things in the sky. So yeah, the mythology there is pretty cool, and I don't know enough about the natives in the Aborigines or the Morai people in New Zealand. I know a little bit about them, and I think that those people that went to those islands are very incredible because of the natives there. Because these people had nothing; they had like like look at this, right? Like they had these sticks right here, and they were able to create these boats and sail across these waterways and oceans and stuff to get to this island. And I mean, that's a big journey that most people these days wouldn't even know how to do. Oh, kiwis are so cute. I love those birds. They have no wings, they have no natural predators. They're very witty and smart. And I will say that uh, Gerald the dolphin, the Morays still got the sticks to this day. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So that is what happened with the birds. They didn't have any natural predators, and that's why they're able to be the way they are. Yeah, I and thing about koala bears is from what I have researched is they can be very violent, but they're cute. All right, actually, sadly, they lay eggs the size of them kiwis. Their organs rearranged to fit the huge thing. Oh yeah, I think that is an incredible biological concept that the kiwis have. How they're able to see things differently because the way they are able to put those eggs was inside of themselves. Y'all aren't allowed to eat them. Yeah, no eating kiwis. Yeah, no eating kiwis. They're going to be endangered and seen as special. Yes, correct. They're endangered. We've saved some species before. We can do the kiwi, God willing. Amen. Yeah, I believe we could save the kiwi from extinction because there's lots of poaching that goes on, and that could, end. Yeah, I mean, you see Pixar in those types of movies like that. Al Gore is a huge poacher of kiwis. So you see, Brig knows. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Brig knows of what Al Gore is the one behind all that. Brig, I agree. I do think that he's single handedly responsible for them being in danger. Yeah, yeah. Foo Al Gore. Yeah. Yeah, I know what he said. He was like, fuck Al Gore. Right. So 7 says, darn poachers, why not go for the Michigan wolves that were introduced? At least they stopped the attacks. Yeah, I know. Like, go after an animal that's being a predator, that's harming others and harming people. That would be the thing to do over hurting the Kiwis. Yeah. Yeah, Al Gore is responsible single handedly for them being endangered. That's 100% true. This is a pumpkin plant, by the way. Hey, hello, boss. Good morning, buddy. Always glad to see you. And yeah, pumpkin pie, definitely. And yeah, we are, as I said, there's a little bit a later garden live, like a later one that, and I will do the earlier ones again. The early garden lives, those are really cool. We'll have like thousands of people in here, and we'll just like talk about aliens and stuff. It's pretty chill. This is more of a laid back stream. Oh, thank you, Underboss, and I hope that you have a divine weekend. It looks like all the birds are waking up. Yeah, I mean, I like how the birds have biological alarm clocks where they know to, get up and smell the roses, and as they say. So that is, what we know of. They and I'm noticing that there's some new birds in this tree right here. Not right there, but that one right there. Yeah. So, by the way, a sunflower. Okay, let's see. Like I said, humans love hunting down cool and crazy animals like dinosaurs. Yeah, humans have done it for thousands of years, and it's just something about them that they want to do. Now, people, I think, now do modern hunting of hunting goals and stuff, and I just think it was part of survival and adapting to things. But yeah, they can use it to hunt bigger goals and stuff like that at the same time. So that is also true. Oh yeah, they had bragging rights. It was basically like buying a new sports car. It was a flex. Yeah, they were. They're flexing. You know, they had different tusks and parts. Like they had like a moose head on a mount. Like they'll do stuff like that to say like, look what I caught. You know, that's definitely what they do. It looks like this plant has chicken pox. It must have plant chicken pox. I don't really know what that is, but yeah, whatever it is, it has it. Scared. They probably are butterfly eggs. I wouldn't doubt it. This man said plant flu. Yeah, that's true. That's what it is. They look kind of flat to me. Right. And so yeah, I do think they're probably butterfly eggs or something like that. That looks like that's a big R sleeve. But yeah, let's go back to this leaf right here. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there must be some seeds on the leaf, something like that. Either way, it's scared. Yeah, great idea to make a salad with that. Yeah, I think it's one of the. It's gonna be the most appetizing salads on the world. You're very welcome. Right, and when this plant comes up, it's gonna be kind of slimy, but it's gonna be good. And this one is into some nice classic tomatoes.
Here.
Okay. Let's see. So probably put something else over here too. Okay, okra comes out slimy. That's what it is. And but it's all edible though. Yeah. I have rutabaga seeds, but I've not planted any yet. This time. That is a star hanging out, or a planet. Rutabaga. Okay, thanks. Thanks. That's a planet of some sort, right there. Yes, that is true. You old bag. Let's see. Rutabaga. Okay, thank you. Right there. Thank you. Hilarious, Brig. Yeah. So there's a watcher right there watching us. Okay. Now, eventually, we're gonna have the sky get brighter and brighter. We're gonna see the daytime. So, I like root plants. They're very nice, in my opinion, for continued growth, and they're just underground where they're not being messed with. Oh, okay. Thank you, Seven. Tomato. Yes, I got you. You got this crazy thing right here. This vine chilling. Yeah, it's pronounced sauna. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes like words are not pronounced the way they look because they always tell us to sound out things, but they're actually pronounced differently than the way they sounded out. Oh, thank you. Yeah, facts, facts. Okay, and going over this way. Right here. Yeah, so yeah, I think let's see, I'm heading off. It was great to see you, Alien and Garden Gang. Have a great day night. Oh, okay. You have a great day too, and thank you for coming here. Brig. Oh, look who it is. It's Claude. Right when a Brig has to go, Claude comes here. There we are, chat. Here's our Claude sighting. There he is. Scared. It is the magnificent feline right here. Yeah, it is Claude. Of course. He likes being petted. Yes, he does. He absolutely gets love. And yeah, he guards the yard at night and during the day. And he likes to catch those tree rats. Yes, Krim. Very nice cat picture, by the way. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I mean, cats are fierce, and they're very excellent at catching their prey. And he is sitting on his pier, his little island, and he's observing everything in the garden. Certainly is a good cat. Has telepathic powers to convince humans to do anything it wants. Yep. Yeah, this cat has certainly has psychic abilities. He's able to get people, or, Earthlings to do what he wants them to do. Yes. Yes, Krim. I know exactly what you're talking about. They they look lazy and like little demons. Yeah, at the same time, and they can look like the most innocent. felines on Earth, but they're not really that innocent because they have a streak in them sometimes. Yeah, he knows. He knows. And this cat loves himself some catnip. That is something that he is obsessed with. They are. Yeah, kittens are the meanest. Yeah, that is true. Kittens are the meanest. And they are babies no matter how much furniture they ruin. Oh, they love ruining furniture. They will scratch up and claw up everything. Definitely. I think kittens will certainly tear off a limb. Indeed. They will tear a limb off one person. Absolutely. And sometimes do the cat streams during the day where we just look at the cats, and it's quite fascinating because they love to just sit here and absorb the sun or the moonlight. Yeah. Now I think another type of cat that I think is mean sometimes is the orange cats. Orange cats can be very vicious, but I mean they're cute and they're innocent, but sometimes they have a streak in them where they like to just bite. They like to bite you silly. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was getting crazy. Yeah, cats need to be fixed. A lot of inside cats need to be fixed, but they, yeah, they'll definitely like to produce more kittens, or they will, go spray over everything. I've seen a cat giving birth before on one of my friend's streams. It was pretty interesting. Yeah, they get downright feral. Definitely feral. Oh yeah, because you see them, give birth, and then they will. It looks like a film developing, and they develop their film and become who they are. Yeah. And the one of the funniest things is like when cats get the zoomies. That always is something hilarious. I like, and when they get the zoomies, they just act like soldiers, and they just go all over the place. Okay, he sees something. Okay, yeah. Oh, thank you, Cram. I'm glad that you like it. Sometimes we have swamp puppies, banded puppies, the um, raccoon. Okay, he sees something. He gets in very deep focus. He probably sees one of the cat. He sees probably one of the rats. You know, he likes to catch the tree rats. Yeah, snake if we're lucky. The cats are very good at catching snakes, too. Earlier, we saw some of the tree rats. Earlier. I like how cats are able to see things we can't see. Like cats can see things like throughout the Matrix. They can see ghosts and spirits, I think, and certainly these animals and critters that we can't even like see right now. Yes, he is very locked in. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. That is messed up. Yeah, as I said, he is. You know, he looks like he's about to pounce. Oh no, I mean it's all right. The YouTube algorithm probably did that. It could do that sometimes. Yeah, like YouTube has things they could show a lot of gory stuff, but they don't like curse words. Like you know, like like some movies, like they'll show like scenes that are like real violent, but they'll bleep out the curse words. It's hilarious. Yes, it is indeed seven. You know, YouTube censorship. You know, everything about YouTube is, you know, it has an algorithm that can detect things and be goofy, and it definitely has its cringe moments. Indeed. Yep, I have my nighttime tour that I do. I'm the sanest person on earth, but I'm a little bit of a mad chatter. Yeah, YouTube censorship makes no sense for God fearing folk. That is true. It doesn't. It's very perplexing. Scared. Okay, now he's just roosting. He's about to start roosting now. Okay, but he's still watching something. The sky is starting to turn a little bit brighter, by a little bit. Yeah, I love these cats that have these leopard prints on their backs. Right down the center. Seven says they can show all the gore they want, so as long as BL black or green or something like Dragon Ball Z, Kylie lame. My baby fur boy had leopard belly. It was so cute. Oh yeah, that definitely sounds adorable. That your cat has that. Your baby boy has that. Okay, looks like he's going now. He's catching one of those rats. Yeah, yeah, get him, Claude. Hilarious cram. Just like a jungle cat in the brush. Okay. He is completely submerged in the forest now. In the jungle. Yep. Okay, well he's right there, sort of. All right, and he's gone now. All right, he is gonna get him, whatever it is. S- the smell like a scum, that lost he's found, and he's hungry like the wolf. Yes, hungry like the wolf. Yeah, definitely suits Claude. I'm on the hunt. I'm after you. Yeah. Okay. That's him going in the other yard. All right. So that's the outro of Claude. Amen 7. Uh, and also you as well. The blood of Christ be on you as well. Thank you. Yes, thank you. All right. So the sky is getting more bright by a little bit. It's not as dark. It'll be getting more brighter soon. All right. So we had our feline cat that was with us a moment ago, and now he is gone off. They have a fence, but 5 Great Danes tore it up. Just lost a dog. Crazy neighbors letting their dogs out. Oh, okay. I mean, that's you. Oh, you can talk about anything you want. Anything. This is an eclectic stream. You can talk about all kinds of things. So it's okay. So they have a fence, but 5 Great Danes tore it up. Oh wow! I mean, we certainly don't want dogs getting out like that, and they could go and attack somebody or a pet or an animal. So yeah, that definitely sounds like a big mess. And Danes are pretty tough dogs at the same time. So hopefully they can get their gate fixed because a lot of times, you have like irresponsible people and they will not be having their gate the way it's supposed to be and they'll break out. Yeah. Now the birds are tweeting because the morning is here. Yeah, I mean, I think Danes are good dogs. I mean, I personally don't have any dogs of my own. Now, I do like how cats are a little bit more quiet. They're not barking all the time. That is something that they are. I mean, I'm not saying dogs are bad or anything, but cats are very silent. But the dog, the Danes are nice. But yeah, I mean, and people that want the pets have to be able to contain them. I woke up last night morning. Dogs are outside, and my cats had threatened the dog. Oh yeah, yeah. There are instances of cats that will fight the dogs. Yeah, it does happen. That is the Twilight. Yeah. So, and hopefully the cats are okay, and the dogs can go back wherever they were originally from. Also, there are some people that have pet parakeets and stuff like that, and I think that's so cool because, my favorite parrot is the macaw. It's kind of to me like a pirate parrot, but I've seen around here small green parrots that exist, and they're very tropical and nice looking. Oh, that is good that you talk to the owner. Yeah, definitely telling the owner about what happened, and they need to keep them secure, more secure and locked up is a good idea. Definitely. Oh, they didn't care. Well, it sounds like they're lousy, people and dog owners because, people want to have, security, safety, etc. And they, it's, and people like them are a threat to people's security and safety the way they are because they want people to, they think the world revolves around them. And I think it's just kind of a sign of ignorance if somebody has like a pet and they're just letting them get out. Right. So, I mean, not having a care in the world is a sign of irresponsibility. And people have to be considerate of other people's pets and other people's lives too. You don't want to just have random dogs just trying to go everywhere. We have to have them where it's supposed to be. So yeah, certainly though the neighbors or whoever they are need to be spend time in the naughty chair. Yeah, I mean, there has been times where people will have complete neglect, and when neglect happens, they neglect everything else. Right. Okay. Now, Cram says they're elderly, so I feel bad, but my dog is not alive. Sorry, just venting, man. Uh, oh yeah, and thank you for telling me your what's going on, and definitely I am all ears. It's all good. Yeah, with elderly, definitely when dealing with elderly, they can be different, indeed, to how maybe people that may be younger can handle things. But I can understand it could be annoying to deal with something like that. It's kind of like talking to a brick wall. Yeah. I think that these flowers are definitely to envy because they just sit here without a care in the world, just absorbing sunlight and moonlight through osmosis. This channel is a place to go and vent and rant. Uh, it's um, it's a lot of people feel comfortable here, so yeah, do what you feel is best. And yeah, so anyway, this is the sunrise. So it's the sun that is coming up soon. So now the sky is all nice and starting to be twilight now, where you're going to have less dark skies, but more sunny skies coming around. There you go. That's better. It is 5:52 where I am. It's definitely oh, salutations, Tone. Welcome to the stream. 3:53 in Cali. Gotcha. As I said, it is nice to, all these trees, everything, and just the twilight color. So I remember when we were looking at the moon over here, that was one of my favorite streams because, and that's one of the reasons I've been doing these garden lives a little bit later. Although I will also do the midnight garden lives that we usually would do. But yeah, you see this, it's the light and the dark like combined is just so incredible. Really is. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And all the birds are tweeting. Oh yeah, that is a good shot of the aura. So you have you have that like dark then light. See that part's just so cool. So yeah, I guess it's like the twilight is one of my favorite parts of it. Oh, okay, Crown. See you another time, buddy. Thank you for hanging out with us. Yeah, but yeah, that's like the East Coast. It's sunny over there right now. Yeah, and it's coming over this way. Yeah, time zones are very amazing and odd at the same time because it's like, time zones, it's like being in different universes. Like I'm in the future right now and I'm showing Saw Girl the future right here, right? It's the future. And she's in the past. Back when it was like nearly 3 in the morning here. Yes, yeah. So as I said, we have the so beautiful. I love the future. Arizona doesn't change the time zones at all. Stays the same all year. Yeah, my friend, well, one of my friends lives in Arizona, and yeah, it stays the same the entire time. It doesn't change. Yeah, it's like shades of multiple shades just at once. It's the night and that's the day. Sawgirl says, "I've been lurking all night and morning. I have the rheumatoid arthritis, so sometimes it's hard to keyboard. Yeah, autocorrect is evil. Yeah, and Sawgirl, you just listening is perfectly fine too. I appreciate your company, and yeah, that does sound very tedious, and especially with autocorrect and all that happening at the same time. Yeah, you're welcome. My pleasure, as always. Oh yeah, Tone, exactly. Like Australia is even more in the future than we are because there's over there. It's like a whole nother day. Like when New Year's happens, they're in the future. And over in Alaska, oh hello Zumi. Over in Alaska, it's like 2 or 1 something over there. It's even like early. It's even earlier than any of us. Yeah, I've seen hawks, and they'll orbit the sky and fly around like buzzards when they like find something. I want to hear the roosters too. So, oh, top of the morning, Rose. Welcome to the stream. And right there are some roses under the twilight. This is roses in twilight. Yeah, and I think that twilight is a very fascinating hour because it's like the transition between night and day, and it looks so cool. It just is unbelievable. You know, there is often a a time I was mentioning earlier where these birds just have a biological clock to go and just activate and start tweeting or crowing. So humans, if humans had that, I guess we wouldn't need alarm clocks. But yeah, Arizona has no daylight savings time, and they certainly are in the future. They are not in the past or the future. They're in their own time zone. And a lot of people think daylight savings time is stupid. And I think that there's a feud over, is daylight savings times good? And also, besides daylight savings time, there is this other one where, either it's bright early or it gets dark early. Some people like it when it gets dark early. Some people like it when it gets bright early. So and it messes with people's systems a lot. There's always talks about getting rid of it, but no one ever actually gets rid of it. Okay. And here's the garden amongst the trees. Yep, and they're right above us. Very cool. All right, so you can see that right there. This is like the haze of the sun coming up. We saw at nighttime, it was a spooky garden, but now there's birds and it's nice and getting brighter. It's a very nice aura. Yeah, this is a pretty cool shot with the haze of orange with the different trees. Sawgirl says hi to Rose. Awesome. Birds right over me. Yeah, it's so fascinating to see like what is lurking around here while we're walking the garden at night. There are lots of birds. Indeed. The kookaburra bird, yes. Yeah, that is their alarm clock. That is true. Hilarious. Yeah. That was pretty cool. We saw the bird tweeting on live. Pretty cool. Yes. Yes. Yes, definitely. The very pretty bird. Yeah. So the bird became famous on YouTube Live and tweeted for us on camera. Yeah, very. That was a very good shot. And it seems like the raccoons and the swamp puppies, then the birds are all comfortable with me. It seems. Yes, famous critters in my garden. Yes, they're gonna one day make a video called "The Top Five Famous Critters." On the topic of Arizona, they nicknamed Arizona the Australia of America due to the climate, landscape, and various poisonous animals. Oh, I believe it. And also, Nevada is also similar too. But yeah, definitely, I believe it. It gets very hot over there. Oh yeah, yeah. Shout out to Tone for sharing. That was very cool. Yeah, very cool. It sounds like the bird's getting ready for a party or something. That's what it sounds like to me. Scared. This is a tallow tree. It was from a letter that it all started with a letter that Ben Franklin sent. And this was a tree that he brought to the United States from China. And it spread all over the East Coast and it just came down everywhere. And it was he was wrote in a letter he thought it would be good for making candles and oil and stuff. So yeah, it's a tree that he brought here and it turns different colors in fall. Red, orange, and yellow, in fall. It's kind of like a northern tree over a southern tree, which is quite interesting. Yes, bird party. When I was little, I was chased by a peacock, by the way, but it was funny. Anyway, I have no idea. I have an idea why it chased me. So I was actually in the stroller when I was little, and it it was chased my mom and I, and the reason why it may have done it was maybe it was being territorial, or it thought we were an enemy. So, like some sort of a rival or something. But we weren't even doing anything. The peacock just started sprinting. Oh, I know. People in school, when I told it story when I was in high school, people thought it was hilarious. Yeah, and I even remembered a little bit. I was just kind of like, "What's going on here?" Like, whoa. And when I was another time when I was little, yikes! Hey, at least it wasn't an ostrich. Even worse than case of war. Yeah, that's true, Tom. So there was this other time where when I was little, I was feeding some ducks, and a duck kind of did a mock charge at me, and a little bit rude. And other ducks were nice to me, but the one duck was like, it was the same height I was. Bro, kind of like he was about to charge at me, but he didn't. Yes, Saw Girl, I will. I've been keeping up with that one and the other one too. This is an abandoned garden, by the way. Yeah, what a family picture. I know. What a family picture. Hello, Majori. Welcome to the stream. And these, are plants that are gonna be coming up. And these are some flowers that are here. All right. And yeah, we're just watching the different nature happen. These are some needle flowers, and we've got some ancient things here. Yeah, lots of birds under in this tree. So, girl, it was an honor. It was a great honor, and have a good night. Thank you. All right. So yeah, these are just some of the ornamental plants. some other flowers right there. Okay. All right. So we got these, and we are yes. Anyway, yeah. So these are a variety of different plants and flowers that grow here, and these are some vegetables that are left over from winter that are growing there. Yeah, those are the purple ones. All right. All right, and that's like the Jurassic Park type feel right here. Looks like my hat flew off my head. It's funny. All right, that's pretty cool. Okay. You got the exact same vibe too, bro. Facts. Yeah. All right. So at this point in time, the garden stream has been completed, and we will be resuming this tomorrow. The garden stream. So thank you, Tone and chat, for being here. And now we'll be finishing. All right. And peace, everybody. Nice hanging out with everyone. Okay. Oh yeah, Seven. I'll show you it for all right. So Seven. This is what it looks like during the daytime when the sun's coming up. I'll show you for a second. Right there. You see, it's all different now. Yeah, and that's where Bubbles. I mean, this is where Claude was. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Where the vegetables are here. Exactly. Right. Right. Yeah, this is the Jurassic Park type area. Those are seagulls. I'm sort of by this. I'm sort of by a sea. Yes, that's a way to say it. Yeah, I'm near it. Okay. This is an abandoned garden that I haven't used in a while. Yeah, I know. They hang out by the sea because that's where they get their fish and stuff from. Yeah, yeah, you are correct. They do. All right, and here's the tree. Not as scary as it usually looks. You are welcome. It's my pleasure. See, when I do some during the afternoon, it looks very nice. So usually on the weekends. So you'll see it like that at some point. But yeah, all right. So going over here. All right, all right. So see you all later, and I appreciate you all coming and hanging out with us. And yeah, bye for now. Yeah, God bless you too, Tone. Thanks.